Hey you guys, your girl is back, and yes, I am ready for this review. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Princey, and welcome to the channel. Okay, so this episode was a little, I don't want to say it was bittersweet for me because I was part of the devastation that happened to Houston because I'm a Houstonian. So I was affected. I wasn't affected like how others were affected, but I was still affected in that hurricane. And I just it just bring me back to actually what happened and everything, and it was like I had to relive it all over again. So it was just really kind of like bittersweet because Housewives, I love them, and it also made me look at Porsha a little different. And she was just giving like the background of what her grandfather stood for, and she wanted to follow in his footsteps because as they were growing up, that's what they used to do, help their grandfather, foundation, everything, and look at her now. So that was interesting to see how they were getting all of those goods and everything. Also, I just have to say, kudos to Porsha for that. Um, Shamia, oh yeah, Shamia calls Porsha in this time. And so, Portia was kind of like, I guess, a little reserved, but she still answered her phone. And she was just saying that she did see it on TV, how they were donating to Houston, and she wanted to be a part. And I guess at the end of the day, Shamia is still Portia's best friend. So who knows Portia? Who know you better than your BFF besides your mom, okay? Your BFF. So Shamia is that to Portia. So, yeah, she was on board with everything, and so Portia received that, and yes, she did need the help. So it goes back into like they showing you the awkward moments of what happened at the bridal shower and everything else and where they are today or whatever. And she was just thinking like Shamia is crazy, but Shamia gives me the top like I'm not gonna hold a grudge. You still my best friend. Whatever that happened, I still speak my mind. But yes, moving on to something positive, whatever. So that was cool. Um, Cynthia and Candy end up having dinner. Kenya ends up ditching off on them or whatever and stuff like that. And so Cynthia is always bringing up how Kenya is into her marriage and everything else. And now look at Cynthia. Cynthia is the single person. So look how the tables turn. So Cynthia, I feel like, in her mind probably felt like that. Her and Kenya could have like more of a bonding, single ladies and everything else. But baby Kenya found her man and it's like toodles. So I think Cynthia, she's always mentioning a lot. I noticed since this season has been coming along, and it's like Cynthia, please let her go. Kenya is who she is. She found love. I think she happy for her, but she missed her friend. But Kenya flaked on them, whatever reason, don't know. But they were doing a recap. Her and Candy were doing an actual recap on what happened in the elephant in the room and stuff like that. So of course, that's what we do when we get with our friends and stuff. And she was Kenya end up calling her and letting her know well Cynthia wanted to let her know like about the thing about H-Town and how she really wanted to help out and stuff like that. And Kenya was kind of, I guess she have other plans and all this other stuff. So Cynthia was a little kind of let down with that. But who knew that Noelle, her daughter, Cynthia's daughter, was born in Houston. Her sister Mal, she you was living here, I think, for 26 or 27 years. Her mom, their mother, also lived as a Houstonian or whatever. So that was kind of interesting too. Like, who knew? Didn't know those facts. And also, Candy had to just let her know, that baby, I'm not gonna be able to go because I am focusing on my family. If you all thinking I'm just veering off or whatever, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything. So yeah, that was like, like she was trying to tell Cynthia, had it not been Cynthia bringing it up, maybe the girls would have been more receptive. But because it was Porsha, a little people was kind of a little standoffish for it. But the people that I felt like who should have really stepped up to the plate and say, you know what, I'm going to come through for my girl, or you know what, I'm not going to be able to make it because due to this, but I get to that. But I felt like, Kim, you trying to make allies, where were you? You too good to come to Houston and help out? But you have time to run over people's house for the tea and everything else and try to destroy other people's house. Sheree, we're going to get to her because I was giving her the side eye too. But yeah, so that was that. And, she was just like, Kid was just saying that, people not feeling Porsha right now. She's not the likable girl in the group. So, Sheree, she said she wasn't able to go because of her back in the accident. And I'm like, girl, what was it going to do for you to just be be supportive, or whatever. But Candy did make it known that she did contribute and everything, to the victims and everything else. So I just feel like we'll give Candy a slide. And like right now, she's about her family, so I can understand. And I give Candy, not just because Candy is my favorite or whatever. One of my favorites is my top favorite, but Candy is always supportive and everything else. So I just feel like, give her a break. But Sheree said she couldn't go because of doctor's orders and she kind of was stumbling on her words. I feel like Sheree was lying. Just say you didn't want to be a part. You didn't want to do it. But I don't know how that goes when traveling and you have I think she have a list located disc, but I don't know what's going on with Sheree back. But it may be a disc problem or something like that. I don't know. I just hope she's okay. But if that's what her doctor said in Atlanta, for her to not do no traveling, okay, Sheree, we're gonna take your word on that, and we're gonna keep pushing. Um, yeah, but the thing with Sheree is that she gets like a girl who has time on her hands to be available whenever her man is calling from jail. Okay, she's so ride or die, and he just have all the time on his hands. Do I know Tyrone like that? No, I don't know Tyrone like that. I just hope that he's not pulling her through the loop and trying to string her along. I just hope that he's a man of his word and that he really be supportive and love Sheree, how they be, on display on the cameras. So she do have a storyline. But the thing is that it's just like a woman that keeps bringing up the same old thing. It's like every time you look, she bringing up NeNe. Like, girl, don't y'all have a certain amount of time on the phone to talk? Like, why NeNe is keep being your subject? So she was saying how NeNe was brought him up and everything else, and he was just saying that she don't know what her issue is with Tyrone and everything else, but it's like, no, you just trying to bring in the story, Sheree. So it was like, he said NeNe really don't want to bring him up. Is she still married? She's like, yes, she's still married or whatever. And he was like, yeah, like I said, she don't want to keep bringing me up because apparently from what they was trying to say, that NeNe was trying to get with him when she was on Apprentice, trying to get him on Apprentice and just do a lot of things, I guess, and was initiating, I guess, some kind of relationship with him. But, Sheree, of course, like the new girl on the block, like, she's not his type. Let me tell you something. A man can say whatever, okay, in your presence, and you feel like because you try to like skim down, like, okay, what you feel like is his type is you because she's the opposite of you. But you know what? Both of y'all got a meat wallet between y'all legs. I'm just saying, and she is paid. So let's not get that twisted. But I just feel like there we go with the high school jabs or whatever. Oh no, she's not his like everybody. So I'm just tired of that. It's like, Sheree, you sitting there, you being a little gullible and you being naive. And I just felt like that whatever that it is between you and Tyrone, you're really all head in deep with him. And it's like, you're not saying, oh, I'm reserved on this or whatever. We'll just play it by ear. It's like you head over here. She just remind me of some of the people I know that always wait for their man to get out. And it's like, you try to act like you're so faithful. You're so into this relationship and everything and how it's going. Well, yeah, it's always cool when they like that because they, like I said, they got all the time in the hand, time in the hand, time in the world to consider to talking to you as much as possible. You know that you already know where they're going, what they doing. They're in jail. It ain't much they could do, you know, or whatever. Besides the people they in jail with. Hello, somebody. But I'm gonna let that go. But I'm just saying, like, quit bringing NeNe up. Like, let's talk. I want to hear other conversations between him and you, not about that. So, you know, of course, she didn't go. She stayed behind. Didn't come to Houston. So Porsha and her crew, they riding into, you know, H-Town, they arrive, and they're really seeing all the devastations that happened. And let me tell you something, from $1 million homes to your modest homes to your underprivileged homes, everybody was affected. It was like when Mother Nature comes, she doesn't have a discrimination on what community will she affect, you know, what class will be affected. It's like everybody is affected. And it happens, I don't want to say this has been the major one, but I know like when hurricanes come or whatever, and it's like get out the city. When Katrina had hit in New Orleans, we did get a scare here. I don't know, Alicia, Felicia, somebody, but they always want to name them after women, but surprisingly this time it was Harvey. They named it after a man, and he did drastic destruction. And to consider Houston is a major big city, and to see how far out that this it went to other surrounding areas around Houston, that's how major it was. Okay, that's something really really major. But I don't want to get sad about it. It's like reliving it all over again. But it was just really, really sad. But so it just showed them like people are really trying to get the sheetrock out. All of their belongings, all their life is placed in their front yards, you know. So it's very devastating. And just to see these women taking out their times to come see about it, I give them the Bravo Award, all of them, because they didn't have to do it. And other celebrities that have given and have dedicated their time, I just salute you all and say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because at the end of the day, it's about mankind. You know, it's about heart to heart. I can go on other things, but I'm going to just stop right there. So that was interesting just to relive that moment again. And so what was also interesting to me, when Porsha was mentioning how her mom, how they didn't have money, she know what it feels like, that they was scuffling between the seats for change to eat off the dollar menu. And let me tell you something, the dollar menu is something that probably have been in effect for the past 12, maybe 13, I give it 15 years, but it's like your grandfather, they had this, I guess, establishment of help the hunger and the homeless. I just feel like, you know, if for charity first starts at home, why you and your mom have to hustle up to eat off the dollar menu when clearly your grandpa foundation have have a big huge supply. I feel like because those places they be giving and being donated. Y'all couldn't get no canned goods from them or something, no pasta, no corn or something, and grandpa couldn't give y'all no meat on the side. Or maybe her mom had pride, I don't know, but that was sad to hear. But also it was really humbling of her to give that story because she didn't have to. I don't know if I could, because I'd be too embarrassed knowing that my grandfather had all this food over here in this shelter. I mean, you know, in this pantry over here to get the others, and here we are hungry over here. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Charity starts at home. You start at home first before anybody else. And I know I repeat myself, but I'm passionate about that. But anyways, like, so Riley, still can't believe Riley is 15. I've been arguing people down talking about Riley 18 because that's what she giving me. You know, but when she speaks and when it comes to her dad, you could tell she's still a child. She may be taller and bigger than her mama, but she's still a child, you know, whatever. And I just feel kind of bad for her because when her dad called and was talking to Candy, you know, about his son was being born and everything else, and he was thanking Riley, and everything else. And I guess Riley is somewhat like a calculated person. I can't really read Riley. It's like she's a jigsaw puzzle to me, because it's like she's kind of standoffish, like she don't care. But I know deep down you care, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't have broke down in tears when the cameras was gone. She's a little strong little girl. I mean, she's strong little sister, because she held her emotions, and when she got in that house, she just broke down and cried. And who knew that she was as fragile as she was at that moment? Because man, if she wins an act, or what, if she could act, if that, not to say that part was an actress moment or anything like that. It just showed like, dang, she could pull it together and then go off in her own little territory and just break down. Like, I'm not gonna let them see me sweat out here. And I'm just saying, like, that shows a lot about her character. She's a strong little sister. But and I just give so much credit to Candy for trying to be supportive of her daughter and her child's father, and everything else. And I give kudos to him, because it's not a lot of black men out there, but there are a few of them that will reach out to their kids and trying to be better fathers and father figures. And that's the first relationship that a girl have, is with her father, because sometimes if you don't have the right relationship with your father, you tend out to veer off into people who you hope to love you and all this other stuff, and you get into this big mess. That's what I call it. And it doesn't matter if your father live in the house, but if you don't have no relationship with your father, and he was a provider and everything, but you don't have a real relationship with him, you tend to choose people who aren't great for you in your, in your life, that you're being intimate with or whatever. And I see it so many times. And not to say that people don't make mistakes, because we all make mistakes and we're learning as we grow. But, I just give kudos to both of the parents that's coming together. And like, Candy is saying, well, she's 15 years old and this and that. But Candy, you should know. And what I think that the dynamic is with them is that Candy went through some of the similar things. Her mom kept her away from her dad and was saying other things about him, but he's claimed that he wanted to be a part of Candy's life, but her mom was making it difficult, which I can understand it. And by Candy being a mom who she is, and was early on as a single young mama, but was successful, it was like, either you're gonna step up or not. I'm not going to have this rift with you. My child is going to be taken care of. But at the same time, Candy was like, well, she is 15, like it's kind of late. No, it's not. It's never too late, because you're going to always need your parents. Let me tell you something. I'm older and I feel like I still need my dad, and I don't have my mom, unfortunately, due to she's dead. I'm just saying, you really still need your parents or whatever. So I'm just glad about that. Candy mentioned to him about counseling. He was on board with that, and he was just saying, if she see them getting along, maybe she'll come more around and everything else. So I don't know if Candy was bad mouthing and everything else. I don't think really so. As old as she got, she just saw the pattern of her daddy. But like I say, they moving forward, and he seems excited having a new baby boy and want to be a part of her life, because Candy say, ever since that blow up they had, he has been consistent within a year to try to come around. So I just give kudos to them, man, because it's so important to have both parents in your life. And also Porsha, come in and show her having these interviews or whatever, 97.9. So that was like really, okay, Porsha, I see you. People were coming out. First, it was Cynthia's event Porsha was at. Porsha also gave $5,000. Who knew Porsha was that generous? Because Porsha comes off as being a taker most times, or being like she's a brat or whatever. But to see her step up in this side or whatever, it looked really good. But it was like Porsha was expecting the same thing from them, for them to step up and come to her event at Grooves. Although they did show up at the community center, but she still wanted them to come to her event at Groves, but unfortunately they didn't come. They went with Kenya to her event with the Habitat. And it was like when she got in town, when Kenya got in town, of course Kenya did come to Cynthia's event and everything, and she was so head over heels and everything else. And it's like, since Cynthia was here, like, bye Porsha, since Kenya came, bye Porsha, be on your way. So of course Porsha felt a little slighted with that, but she sent Shamia with them because she was like, well, Kenya is having her event. She texted Shamia and wanted her to be a part, but Candy, not Candy, Porsha was saying, well, you know what, mine started one time, hers starts at another. Why don't you just go with her in supportive of me? So it was like good that Shamia came aboard in that way, that she was a part of it. But the thing that I didn't like was how Kenya was treating her. But it seems like that this is Kenya's element, being at the Habitat home. She had her family with her nieces and everything else or whatever. I guess her little cousins or whoever, they were with her. And, Cynthia and Mal, that, it was just like, in beast mode, that this is what she loved to do. We understand that she was doing this when she was building Manamore, and this is a passion of hers, and I can understand it. She could be real bossy and yet rude at people. So when Shamia, you invited Shamia now. Shamia ends up coming. She's trying to figure out which house they was in. Instead of saying, well, you know what? Get with the volunteer. She was like, I don't know. See the volunteers asked on my side. It was very rude. Even Cynthia was trying to offer water, ask for a water break. She wasn't for it. She wasn't trying to have it. And it's like, Cynthia was saying, okay, Bob the Builder. She was like, that's Miss Bob the Builder to you. It was like she was in her little mode and she was rude. So even when Shamia came up and was like, hey, I'm here on behalf of Porsha and everything else, she was like, okay. She said, sorry, Porsha couldn't make it. Being just what a BFF is, being very, very professional about it and everything. But she was like, oh, we don't have to get into all of that or whatever. I understand she had her own thing. And it was like, okay, you dismissed her with that. Then she tells her that Porsha ends up giving her a donation. Oh, well, we could get to that later. Keep dismissing everything. Then put the girl on trash bags. And it's just like, how much are you going to do? Shamia saying that she's like, she's enjoying this moment, helping out and everything else. It's an exciting moment for her. Kenya walks by and was like, less talking, more working. It's like, first of all, baby, you're not paying anybody. These are not your employees. These are volunteers, your friends and future, associates as well. So it's like, why would you even go there and be like that? That's rude, But Kenya, of course, doesn't see this flaw. They all go to Gatlin's barbecue that's over there for Ella and everything, 610, which is a really nice spot in a very nice neighborhood or whatever. And so they do have a great barbecue chopped beef, okay? Sandwich that I've had or whatever. I just hate that they closed so early. And I really wasn't surprised when the lady had told her, like, baby, we'll close, but they were still there for taping, because usually they close early. I know, because sometimes that's my route when I leave work to go over that way or whatever. But anyhow, so back to the story. Kenya walks in when all the women were talking, and before that, let's pause. Shamil was just saying that how she felt, and Porsha's sister, L'Oreal, whatever her name is, was saying that, she felt like that they were really being supportive of Porsha. They came to, and Mal jumped in and was like, well, did we not go to the community thing? And she was like, yeah, but that was still another event. It's like, girl, pump your brakes. And like Cynthia was like, well, at this point, Porsha needs to be grateful because none of the girls really want to come. And so, it's like, let's all eat some humble pie is what I was getting from Cynthia, was saying, like, girl, just be grateful. So, hold on. I need some water because this gets interesting for me. Okay, so she also mentions, well, Kenya comes in. Oh, yeah, Shamil mentions that, let's get on the subject of Kenya, how she was treating people, how she was a little rude and everything else, and how she was treating her. Cynthia was like, well, to her defense, she didn't see none of that. It's like, girl, she wouldn't even let you take a water break. Like, please stop the gas, Cynthia. Like, you're so you're so for your friend, but I'm not for sure if she's the same friend that you're being to her, because Cynthia is so ride or die for Kenya. She's in her back pocket. But it's like, Cynthia, you know, she didn't even want you to take a water break, girl. Like, come on. But she was like, you know what? The best thing to do is to address it when she gets here. Like, I can understand that. I take that. But quit trying to act like you ain't see how she was treating people. So, you know, Kenya gets there. She's feeling like I am every woman, you know, whatever. She's slave, you know, coming through, wanting something to eat. She was like, that's cool. Nothing to eat, you know, just give me some water. So if you all have never experienced being in Houston, what they tried to make it look like while Shamil was talking and everything else, it was like she felt dismissed and all this other stuff, you know, of, you know, how Kenya was treating her and stuff. And Kenya kept interrupting. It was like, oh, can I have another water? Can I have another water? And I can understand it because the heat here is very dry. And they were here probably like, I don't know, in August or September, because that's when it happened. So they probably was here. It happened at the end of August. So they probably was here like around September. It's still hot as I don't know what here in Houston, okay? So I can understand, you know, this heat, you know, you just really, really want some water and all of this other stuff. And Shamil like, just bring the picture out, because she don't want no more interruptions. And she was just letting her know what she felt and how Kenya was treating her. Kenya wasn't for it. Like, I'm not addressing my employees right now. Like, stop, you know, just stop where you at or whatever. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was just like very kind of like a little shady. Her conversation Kenya was ordering, okay. Kenya was over it and felt like they was dragging her in the mud, you know, and everything else. She stormed out in the bathroom, I guess, because she felt like she wasn't going to throw no shade at Shamia. I was thinking you weren't going to throw no shade because Shamia don't have no peach and you ain't supposed to waste your time on her. Like, who is she? She's Porsha's best friend. But Shamia was like, well, I'm over it. And then Cynthia was like, no, you're not over it, because you kept bringing it up. It's like, oh, so now you want to mention what I'm saying, but you didn't want to mention how your friend was treating us. And I'm like, really, Cynthia? So, you know, Kenya goes off cussing and ratting on in the restroom or whatever, talking about what she's sick of hitting things or whatever, throwing a tantrum, basically. They trying to calm her down. She felt like she should leave. You know, Porsha felt like she need to come in. You know, she's like, it's nothing I have to say to you, which I feel like that's rude. You know, the girl came and checked on you or whatever. Don't be like that. But it was like she felt like they trying to drag her in the mud. Like I say, she did something positive, but you need to see where you're coming from. And then what she was doing was saying that her husband, she keeps throwing up this husband that she barely knows, okay? And it's like, you built this. You built a brand with housewives. Yeah, you was Kenya Moore, but let's be honest, you was a D-lister for a long time. And then all of a sudden you get married. Now you saying what your husband don't want, what your husband felt like. And it's like, I'm not here for the husband that I haven't seen yet on the show. Which by I guess in the future we shall see. But it's like, you know, she was giving me a Kim Kodiak, like how Kim was when she met Croy. Like, okay, I'm with Croy. Like, he doesn't even want me taping with y'all because y'all are peasants to me. Like, you better than anybody. Let's be real. Them checks are good for housewives. And they were good enough for you to keep continually to be along here while you've been dating other guys and everything else. And now you find a husband. Now you feel like you can't tape with these women. You sick of these women. You sick of this and you sick of that. Well, it's like, okay, well, bye. You know, surely they could be, you could be replaced, because it looked like even Marcel with her gorgeous self look like she's going to be on the show. So I'm waiting on that. That trailer for next week look like all these trailers have been getting so good. It's been getting extra juicy and they're giving me life. Okay. And I'm here for it. So I know this one was a little lengthy or whatever, but I'm glad y'all held on in there with me, and I'm gonna come back with another review on Den of Thieves, the movies. If you haven't saw it, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna do a review on that, so stay tuned. But until then, I holla. Bye.